Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Maryland Public Service Commission's case number 9468, the application of Baltimore Gas and Electric Company for approval of a gas system strategic infrastructure development and enhancement plan and accompanying cost recovery mechanism, which we will call STRIDE 2. Let's begin by taking appearances. Ms. Garofalo, we'll begin with you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Annette Garofalo on behalf of Commission staff.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Joseph Cleaver on behalf of the Office of People's Counsel, and I'd also like to enter the appearance of Teresa V. Zarski, Deputy People's Counsel, on behalf of OPC.
May I go back?
You may.
And enter the appearance of Michael Dean and Leslie Romine.
Very good. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Maggie Witherup on behalf of the Maryland Energy Group and W.R. Grace & Company, which have filed a petition to intervene in this matter.
Mr. Herson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Daniel Herson for Baltimore Gas and Electric Company. I'd also like to enter the appearance of Kimberly Curry on behalf of the company.
All right, thank you. Anyone else who would like to speak? All right, if not, we have one petition to intervene, and that's the Maryland Energy Group and W.R. Grace & Company. That petition is granted.
Thank you.
Okay, let's begin then with our... Actually, before we get a procedural schedule, just to get this out of the way, Mr. Herson, do you have an exhibit you'd like to bring in?
Yes, Your Honor. Yesterday we filed, pursuant to the Commission's order, the affidavit of the publication of notice of today's hearing. So I would like to, traditionally we have that marked as Company Exhibit 1, so I'd like to have that marked and moved into the record today if we could.
Okay, without objection, BGE 1 is marked and admitted. Let's go to our procedural schedule, and Ms. Garofalo, I'll turn it over to you.
The parties met by conference call yesterday, and we discussed the procedural dates. I've given you a list of our dates. It's a consensus agreement with direct testimony from staff, OPC, and interveners to be filed on February 16th. Rebuttal testimony from all parties to be filed on March 7th. Surrebuttal testimony by staff, OPC, and interveners, and hearings with live rejoinder from March 20th through the 23rd. Initial briefs April 16th, and reply briefs due April 30th.
All right, great. Any issues with the proposed procedural schedule? Any questions from the bench on the procedural schedule? Not? The procedural schedule is adopted. Mr. Cleaver?
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Just briefly, Your Honor, no objections to the procedural schedule. We appreciate the opportunity to speak to everyone yesterday, and we were pleased to reach agreement on all these dates. One thing I would note is that just because the process for us of obtaining witnesses with the RFP process, it takes us longer to get a witness than it does maybe some other parties. We had sought a quicker turnaround time for discovery before our testimony is due on February 16th than the standard 10 days. Due to the extreme weather we've been having and the fact that it's a critical time for operations at the company wasn't able to commit to anything shorter than 10 days, at least before direct testimony is filed, but the company did represent that it would use its best efforts to respond to discovery as quickly as possible as it's served on the company. And we appreciate that and just wanted to state that on the record.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you stating that on the record. Ms. Garofalo, we also have an agreement on discovery responses, correct?
Yes, and with the
Okay, let's we're gonna go off the record briefly, see if we can resolve. Ready? Try. Yep. Okay, sorry about that. We're back on the record, and we were in the process of adopting our discovery procedures.
Yes, so this is, I think, with the exception that Mr. Cleaver mentioned, discovery responses would be due within 10 business days through the filing of direct testimony, with objections made within 3 business days. After a direct is filed on February 16th, responses would be due from all parties within 5 business days of receipt of the request, with objections made within 2 business days. And after March 7th, discovery responses due from all parties within 3 business days, with objections made within 2 business days. In addition, testimony would be served electronically on all parties on the date of the filing, in addition to by first-class mail. The discovery and the filing were not discussed in our call yesterday. However, these parameters were sent out to the parties, and I received no objections.
Okay, any comments, issues with the discovery procedures? All right, if not...
No objection.
All right, thank you. If not, the discovery procedures are adopted. Any discovery disputes should be brought to the Commission promptly, and as always, we will try to resolve them as quickly as we can. Discovery has already commenced for staff and OPC, and will commence immediately for the Maryland Energy Group. The only other thing I have on my list is public hearings. I think we will have 2 public hearings in this case, and I'll ask the company to work with the Executive Secretary on dates and locations for those 2 hearings.
We will do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else before we adjourn? All right, hearing none. I wish everyone a pleasant rest of the day. Safe trip home tonight. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.